Hey, Steve Gamache here with another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. I'm holding this so the light reflects a little bit better. There we go. So this is the Kamo Shirogami or white number 2 Santoku 170mm knife. You can see visually this has a lot going on. So what we have here is Shirogami or white paper number 2 reactive high carbon steel for the core steel, and then we have a Damascus cladding over the top of that. And I did not look, I think I can't, well, shoot, I should have looked up whether it's stainless or not. I did not, so check the page for whether this is stainless or not. I'm not going to say at this point. I think it is, but check the page for whether or not it's stainless cladding. But you can see it's a multi-layered cladding that they've done some acid etching on to make those layers pop, so it's a real pretty knife. It's got hand-chiseled, hand-engraved kanji, which is becoming less and less common. Run your finger over there and feel it. It's really well done. Nice, crisp, engraving marks on there. Really, really pretty knife. So let's take a look at the specifics on it. These will be a little bit different from knife to knife, but this particular one is 125 grams or 4.4 ounces. The edge length is about 170 millimeters on the edge, kind of per spec, about 6.7 inches, and the overall length about 311 millimeters with the handle. The spine thickness, I measured about 2.3 millimeters at the back here above the heel, and then about halfway down I measured about 1.75 millimeters, and then pretty much holds that. It's a fairly generous grind. There's not a real line of demarcation you can see, but the grind kind of just really nicely flows towards the edge. It's kind of a gentle, curve and thinning down towards the edge. It's not a hard shoulder or anything like that. So really, really well done grind on these. And you can see it gets pretty thin at that edge there. It doesn't thin out until you start hitting the grind, which is right in there. But very nicely done on that. So the edge is nice and thin. You can see it's pretty thin at the edge here as well. So the tip's pretty thin. It's thin at the edge as well. It's fairly stiff in the front half or the back half of the knife, especially. Let's see, blade height is 48 millimeters, so it's pretty tall, and it's got a D-shaped handle. It's very nicely done. It's what they call sandalwood. Kind of looks like rosewood, but sandalwood, that's what they call it. And it's got black packawood ferrule. Pretty nice, smooth fit and finish. I've got a little step here, but it's not much at all. But looks like a pretty good glue up or seal job into the tang there where it goes into the handle. The handles kind of feels a little dense, and it's got a fair amount of polish to it. So D-shaped handles, I'm a lefty. They don't really bother me at all. They're technically righty type D-shaped handles, these are. But for me, if in a pinch grip, I don't really feel that anywhere, so it's to me it's a non-issue. So don't be scared if you're a lefty and say, oh, I hate D handle. I think most people would probably be okay with it. The neck is a little bit wide, you can see here, but you still get pretty good clearance for your fingers, so not a problem. What that wide neck does is kind of match up with the bottom of the handle right here, so it it flows for putting your finger in on a pinch grip. You got a good spot right there, and nice comfortable spot for a pinch grip. Where's the balance point? The knife is fairly thin and not a huge blade, so the handle's a little more dense, a little heavier, a little longer. So there's balance point, kind of right in the middle where that choil is, the back of the blade. So in a pinch grip, it's got a little bit of a slight handle heavy balance point to it, but it's still fairly neutral, so nice light and kind of flickable knife. But I guess let's do our beauty shot. We'll go this side since that's where the kanji is. So here is a close-up. You can see the layers of the cladding. There's your kanji, hand engraved. Very, very nice touch. And then this is the left side of the blade, or the right side of the blade as you'd be using it. So it's a fairly smooth finish. They've did a little bit of relief on the corners of the spine. They've done some relief on the corners of the choil, so some good finish work on here. And I'd say this was 6, maybe 7 out of 10 edge seat of the pants out of the box. So it's got a really nice, pretty sharp edge out of the box. And of course, this steel will get razor sharp just depending on whatever your skill level is. You can get it as sharp as your skill level will allow. So this stuff will get razor sharp, no problem. So this is a very nice looking knife, traditional reactive steel that's super easy to sharpen. And here's the profile. You can see it's fairly curvy, not a lot of flat. It just kind of rolls into the heel at the back. And then typical sheep's foot type point to it. I can get in there before the tip starts wanting to dig into the cutting board. So I'm getting pretty high there for a rock on this sort of a blade, 165 millimeter, or excuse me, 170. But so there's your profile. So pretty versatile. Again, not a lot of flat to it, but probably for most other purposes it'll work great. It would be good for tip draws as well, with that point being lower past the center line of the blade. So just a very pretty knife, nicely executed, good grinds on it, thin at the tip, thin at the edge, so really cool handle. So it's a very nice package. So this is the Shiro Kamo Shidogami or white number 2 Santoku 170 millimeter knife.